Darstele, this video clip is on the last chapter of your first book, that is Globalization. This is a short chapter and it is also an easy chapter since it is very relevant to us, okay? In fact, we are living in and are a part of globalization. So before I start discussing the chapter, I want you to have a look at some of these pictures. McDonald's burger and Coca-Cola, Domino's pizza, KFC chicken, some social media apps that you use, the dress, jeans, and Valentine's Day, and of course the singers. Now, do you relate yourself to these pictures? I'm sure that all these pictures are very normal to you and it's not even in our culture. None of it. Okay, yet it's so natural for us, for example, to listen to and idolize Western songs. We feel more comfortable in jeans and t-shirt. And many of you might even not remember the Tibetan Democracy Day, but you do remember Valentine's Day, which of course has nothing to do with our culture. And have you noticed that when you speak, how many foreign languages do you use in one conversation? And and in some cases, you might even know the English word and not the Tibetan word. Now, all this is due to globalization. And the fact that we are all locked up in the four walls of our home, trying to cover our syllabus through virtual class because of the COVID-19 pandemic, again, is all due to globalization. Okay, it is because of globalization that the coronavirus, which originated in Wuhan, China, has now spread to the whole world in such a short period of time. The fact that I'm teaching you this chapter in English is also because of globalization. So what is this globalization and how are we affected by it is what this chapter is all about. All right, so let's move on. What is globalization? Globalization refers to the flow of capital. Okay, so here you're talking about money, commodities, flow of commodities, or the various items. Anything you get it, here in India, which is not made in India, is a result of globalization because the item has moved from another country. And then we have the flow of ideas. Internet has played a huge role in the flow of ideas since you share and receive any information with just one click. And then finally, the flow of people from one part of the world to another, resulting in a worldwide interconnectedness or the feeling of interdependence. All right. The impact of globalization is uneven. It affects some societies more than others, and some part of societies are less affected. For example, the impact of globalization in North Korea would be completely different than the impact we see here in India. Next we have is the causes of globalization. Now, globalization is not something new. In fact, globalization has taken place through much of human history. The four flows in globalization that we talked earlier has been there in the history. The Tibetan script and the Buddhist religion in Tibet is all due to the flow of ideas and people during those times. So globalization was there even, during the barter system when people moved from one place to another for trade purposes. However, the globalization during those times and the globalization now, or globalization in the contemporary world, is different in the sense that the speciality or the uniqueness of the modern globalization is the scale and the speed of these flows that is taking place. In the contemporary world, everything is done at one click. So the scale is larger, the speed is much faster. All right. So what are the causes of the globalization, or what are the factors that contributed to the four flows? First we have is the technology. Now, technology has a huge role in globalization. The advancement of technology has led to a wide scale and speed of the globalization. For example, if you talk about the communication, the revolution in communications and information technology has brought the people of the world very close to each other. Social media, it plays a huge role here. Now, the flow of ideas that has taken place through this communication has changed the way we think of our personal but also of our collective lives. We think more as a global, citizen than as an individual. For example, the best example would be if there is any cultural issue, then the whole world comes together. So this actually is all due to communication. And then next one we have is the transportation. The advancement in technology has also made it possible for the people, the capital, and commodities to move from one place to another place, that is from one country to another country, and it has also increased its pace. Fine. Now, the pace of these flows, however, may vary. The movement of capital and commodities, of course, will be much quicker and wider than the movement of the people across the world. But then if you talk about ideas, that would be the quickest and the widest. All right. And then we have the recognition of interconnectedness. Now, along with the role of technology, it is also very important for the people in different parts of the world to recognize these interconnections or the interdependence with the rest of the world. For example, the COVID-19, which started in Wuhan, China, has affected the whole world. So here we are talking about an event which takes place in one part of the world, but its impact is felt on another part of the world. Okay, so the interdependence that is being felt by all the people. So this feeling should be there. And another example, other examples would be swine flu, the AIDS, or let's say economic recessions. A quick recapitulation. In this clip, we learned about the meaning of globalization, which is globalization refers to the flow of capital, commodities, ideas, and people from one part of the world to another, resulting in a worldwide interconnectedness. We learned that globalization is not new and that it has taken place through much of human history. The only difference is in the scale and the speed of the flows. The causes of globalization are technology, under which we discussed how communication and transportation played a major role in these flows. We also discussed the importance of the feeling of interdependence or the interconnectedness amongst the people for globalization. With this, we are left with the manifestations of globalization and the anti-globalization topics. In the next video, I'll be covering the manifestations of globalization. So until I meet you in my next video, do take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.